All right, we're ready to begin with Florida. Reminder to silence your cell phones, and also remember no live streaming. We'll ask Coach White for some general thoughts on the game, then we'll take your questions just for the two student athletes, and then we'll finish up with Coach White. So Coach, would you begin?
Yeah, big win for us, of course. Anytime you beat an SEC team, it's a good win. And we've learned that, especially in the SEC tournament. Arkansas is a great program. They knocked us out last year. We knew how hard they would come out and play and how prepared they'd be and what a handful they are to have to score against and to have to defend. They were playing really well coming into this one. I thought it was a high-level game of intensity and two teams really getting after it. And I thought that we made some big plays. Both of these guys made big plays, complemented by Kavarius Hayes, playing with incredible amount of energy, and Andrew Nemhard going for 8 assists and 1 turnover. Jalen Hudson playing with a bunch of defensive energy. We played well. It was a good win for us.
All right, we'll take your questions for Kayvon Allen and Keontae Johnson. If you'll raise your hand, we've got Mariana and Taylor with some floor microphones. We'll get them to you, and let's go ahead and start right on the front row.
Hey, Kayvon, Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. You always seem to kill the Hogs. I know you were struggling coming in. What is it about playing Arkansas, and just how good did it feel to break out of your slump in such a critical game?
They're a hard playing team. I think in the first half they did a good job of turning us over, and then in the second half, I think we did a better job of just staying calm and just playing together and just kind of reading the defense before we make a pass.
You need a microphone there? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but your game, how good does it feel to break out? And you always seem to play your best against Arkansas. Is it because it's your home state, or what do you think it is?
I feel like I did a good job today. Teammates, coaches, they believe in me. I just got to continue to keep shooting. I think overall that I played well. Just got to keep it up.
All right, another question on the middle aisle. Go ahead.
Keontae, how gratifying was this today to get 20 and 12 after not scoring in that first matchup against Arkansas earlier this season?
I just tried to do what I had to do my job to help the team win, and everything, just playing hard, and once I played hard, everything just came together. So.
Other questions for either of the student athletes? Okay, let's go back to the front.
This is for both the players. You guys held Arkansas to 51 in Fayetteville. Then you did even better today, held them to 50. What is it about your defense or the matchup against Arkansas? And Keontae, did you have a feeling Kayvon might break out today, or how good was it to see him kind of get back to his old self?
Who do you want to go first? Yes.
How about Keontae?
I already knew Kayvon was going to have a good game either way. We always tell him to just play hard and don't worry about a missed shot. So for him to hit shots today, it wasn't surprising. I was just happy that he had a great game and helped us get this win today.
Is that same for Kayvon? What's your question for Kayvon?
I'd like both you guys to talk about, you held Arkansas to 51 and 50. That's their two lowest scoring games of the year. What did you guys do to them defensively, and what is it about the matchup that works in your all's favor?
Okay, Kayvon, would you go first on that?
We pride ourselves on defense. I think we went out there and just knowing personnel and just kind of know what each player want to do, and we just play hard and just stuck together.
Same for Keontae?
I just felt like everybody was locked in today, and nobody wanted to be that one person to make the mistake. So I feel like everybody did their job, and we just overall got it as a win together.
Have time for one or two more for either student athletes. All right, let's go to the front row on the left.
This is for both players. Now you get LSU. Can you talk about matching up with them and why this year both games have just been down to the wire? I mean, what is it about that matchup that brings out the best in both teams?
Keontae, would you take that first?
I feel like they're just a hard-working team, just like us. So they're going to run, we're going to run, and it's just a great matchup overall on the court. And it's just hard for both teams to score and get stops. So I feel like it's going to be a great game once again.
Kayvon?
Like he said, a tough matchup. I think at the end of the day, for us, I think we just got to box out and just come down to getting rebounds.
Okay, we got time for one more question. We'll take it on the aisle right in the middle.
This is for either one of you. I haven't followed you throughout the year, but I noticed Coach was chest bumping there at the end of the game. Can you kind of describe his chest bumping technique and how exciting that was for you guys?
Pick a player. All right, Kayvon.
He gets excited, when we like doing our jobs on defense. I think that's bring pride in him, that bring joy in him, just to see us all come together, as a team and just lock down teams.
All right, we'll excuse the student athletes. You can return to the locker room. And we'll continue on with questions for Coach White. Raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. Let's go ahead and start on the front and the right.
Thank you. Mike, just to parlay on what Bob asked you, just how hard is it to, or do you have answers or something to Arkansas's offense? Does your defense match up well with them? I mean, for their two lowest games to be both against yours, this seems like more than a coincidence.
I don't know that I have an answer further than coincidence. We weren't playing well earlier in the year and really needed one at Bud Walton, and I thought we were just really dialed in. And then, of course, today, having lost 3 in a row, I thought we were just really dialed in. I'm not sure it has as much to do with the matchup as it was leading into both games with our mentality and where we were in the context of the season. I will say Arkansas is very difficult to defend with their unpredictable off-of-the-ball movement. They cut hard. They sprint to screen. They've got an elite big. They've got 2 elite shooters. They've got good cutters. And they make you pay, and our guys know this, if you get out of a stance, your base principles, if they fail you in any way, they make you pay because they move the ball so well and they move their body so well.
Next question, front row.
Mike, I know we talked about it Monday, but Kayvon, he's just a hog killer. What did you have a feeling he was going to play? And I know you brought him off the bench last game. Was it just a no-brainer to put him in the starting lineup against Arkansas? Just what do you think of his game and just the way he plays against Arkansas all the time?
I don't know that it has a lot more to do with more than coincidence. But I will go here and tell you that, because I've said it to you before, Bob, that when you're playing your home state school, I think a lot of guys maybe get a little bit more juiced up. Further than that, I'm not sure. I think just like his individual performance is kind of like a microcosm of the bigger picture with our program, in that he needed to have a big one then, and he'd been really struggling coming into this one, and he needed to have a big one today. Regardless of what team it was. It was the SEC tournament. You won advance. We got knocked out first round last year. And there might be a little bit of added incentive. I don't want to dodge that because he's from Arkansas, and who knows how much of a factor. I know he didn't give you a clear answer. Sorry, I can't give you a clearer one.
All right, let's go question on the front row on the left, or second row, go ahead.
Mike, just your thoughts on playing LSU a third time, 2 tough battles, and can you take a third overtime against them?
I don't know that my heart can. My guys probably can. They've been a resilient group all year. Two high-level college basketball games. 2 that we had chances to win both. Obviously, we had chances to lose both. Hopefully it'll be a great game because we all know how good they are, and hopefully we're competitive enough in the same regard to have a chance late. And we're in that same type position where maybe we can steal another one versus them.
Okay, front row on the left.
Yeah, Mike, just about LSU again, the circumstances they've had to play the last game in and what they'll play with tomorrow. Yeah. How does that, what do you expect from them as far as just the way they play and style or effort? I mean, what do you tell your team about, okay, this team doesn't have their head coach, but what do you say?
But they're really good, and they finished the season really strong, and Tony does a really good job. I know that firsthand. We were at Louisiana Tech one year with a really good team, went into North Texas and got our brains beat in. He does a very good job. They've got a good staff. They've got a really good team. you know, it'll be a 30-second conversation. Let's lock in on these guys' actions and how good they are defensively on the offensive glass. And we got to do, obviously, a great job with their dynamic guards led by Tremont. And how do we defend Naz Reid at a higher level than we did at home? He put us in a quandary, especially late in the game with his post touches and the decisions that he made. So that's where our focus is going to be. That's it.
Question in the back.
Adam Sparks of Tennessee. And Mike, when you were at La Tech, you knew your conference tournament had direct ramifications on the NCAA. You're in a similar situation now being on the bubble. I'm curious to know how one prepared you for this one now and keeping your guys kind of on point each round rather than looking at the big picture.
Yeah, sure. It's a good point in that it's very similar. There's a ton of pressure for those teams. I don't envy those teams. We were there 4 years in a row where you feel like you're a borderline NCAA tournament team, but you got to win the tournament. You got to win the tournament. And although we had some pretty good high major victories, you don't get enough of those opportunities. And then for these other mids, I don't mean to fight for them so much now that I'm at a high major, but you know, a lot of times they get high major opportunities and they're guarantee games. You know, they're road guarantee games. It's a tough situation for those guys. So when you get to conference play, it's about that game, and that's it. And you can't read Twitter, and you can't take certain phone calls from people that are going to put noise in your head. You can't read the newspaper. You just can't listen to all those things. None of those things matter. They're going to deter you from where your focus should be, and that's how the heck do we get our first stop against LSU tomorrow. That's all that matters. That's being in the moment. That's where we need to be.
We got time for one more question. We'll take it right on the front.
Mike, you guys had 19 offensive boards today and outscored them, I think, 18-6 on second chance. How big was that? And I'd say about Kayvon, he averages 4 more points against Arkansas than everybody else. So that can't be a coincidence, you know.
All right, I'm giving in. You're right. You're right. Maybe he gets a little bit more excited. Numbers back you up, Bob. Offensive rebounding. Kavarius Hayes' energy spreads, and I think he's helped Keontae Johnson. Keontae's taken advantage of a lot of opportunity with the absence of a transfer at Christmas and Keystone going down with the ACL, and those two guys bring it, you know, from the offensive glass standpoint. And then I thought we got a couple long rebounds there. Dante Bassett actually gets 3 as well, but Noah Lott gets 3 just off of opportunistic long crashes, probably off of missed threes. I'd have to go back and look at it, but Kavarius Hayes sets the tone there with his motor.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.